Now that our application has a better structure, let's add a new column to display the total price for each shopping cart item. So here in the heading, I'm going to add price. And to display the total price for each item, we have two options. One is to get the product and then the price and multiply it by item.quantity. But it's better not to write expressions like this in our views because we want to keep these views, these templates, very lean. So I'm going to encapsulate this logic inside a property in our shopping cart item. And this way we can easily unit test that property. So let's call that property total price. Now let's go to shopping cart item. Here, first I'm going to promote this from an interface to a class because we're going to have implementation. Now I'm going to add a property called total price. And here simply return this .product .price times this .quantity. Okay. Now if you look at this page, you're not going to see the price. The reason for this is because these items, they are not shopping cart items as we have defined here. So the items that we are iterating over, these are simple objects that we get from Firebase. So back in our shopping cart class, when populating this items array, we need to explicitly map each of these objects to a shopping cart item object. So I'm going to add a code block here. Now I'm going to get each item. Let item equal this expression. Now when calling the push method, I want to new up a shopping cart item object. And here in the constructor, I want to pass the product and the quantity. We can get that from this item here. So item.product and item.quantity. Now we have a compilation error because we don't have a constructor in this class. So let's go to shopping cart item, define a constructor that takes two parameters. One is product and the other is quantity, which is a number. Now we no longer need to define these fields here. So back in our shopping cart, we have done our mapping, so we should be able to access the total price of each shopping cart item. Back in the browser, look, we've got the prices here, beautiful. We just need to apply the currency pipe to make this user interface look better. So currency with two arguments, US dollars and true. Also, I'm going to add a footer to this table and display the total price of all the items in the shopping cart. So we add tfoot. And here we add a row with 3 cells. And then in the last cell, we can render cart dot total price. Now we need to define this property in our shopping cart class. In this property, we are going to get the total price of each item and then combine them together. So let's go to shopping cart class. Just like we have a property called total items count, we can add another property called total price. So here I'm going to define a variable and then iterate over our items array. So let product ID in this .items. Then we can access each shopping cart like this. And from here we can get the total price. So all we have to do is to add that to this sum. And finally return sum to the outside. Now one last thing before we finish this lecture. Back to our template. I forgot to apply our currency pipe. So currency US dollars, true. Now back in the browser. So we have the total price for each item, as well as all the items in the shopping cart. Now to make this total stand out a little bit more, back in our template, I'm going to change this TD to TH. Let's have a look. Now it looks better. So with each step, our shopping cart page is getting better and better. Next, we're going to add the ability to modify the quantity of each item in the shopping cart.